Hey everyone! Today I promised you that I would do the opposite end of the spectrum from what I told you yesterday, and obviously I'm wearing the same clothes, so this was recorded at the same time just because I was in that mindset and wanted to get them both completed for you. So today I'm going to talk to you about the do's, or the foods and things that you will want to replace some of the don'ts that I said yesterday. So here we go. Small amounts of natural sweeteners. So what are some examples? Instead of using sugar, alcohols, instead of using artificial sweeteners, what can you use? Makes you feel like there's nothing out there, but there is. Things like organic grade B maple syrup. There is raw, pasteurized, and I do prefer local honey. There's so many health benefits to that. Stevia is one of my favorites, and you can get that in several forms, but stevia comes from the stevia leaf, from the plant. Agave syrup, that one is okay. It's not my favorite. If you have a tendency to have high triglycerides, I would avoid it. If that's not an issue for you, then agave syrup should be okay. Organic coconut sugar is a great option, great instead of brown sugar for baking. And then, of course, you have things like dates, blackstrap molasses, things like that that you can use, again, in small amounts, because it is still a type of sugar. It still creates a spike in insulin, that kind of response in your body. But again, it does have, these things have some health benefits, and you're able to benefit from it a little bit, as long as it's not overkill. Of course, instead of drinking pop or alcohol, you do want to veer towards water, not fruit juice. Dairy, you want to be careful of. Even organic dairy, some people have sensitivities to that. I never thought I did, and after going paleo these last few months in the fall, I did really well, but I did not avoid dairy. So I guess you could say I was eating more what is called Primal Blueprint, which is a form or an arm of paleo. And I avoided all the grains, but I still had dairy and still didn't feel 100%, but was losing weight. So I was doing pretty well. And then I found out, I went ahead and got my blood tested and tested my IgGs, and had about 93 foods reactors tested in my blood, and found that dairy, both casein and whey proteins, actually bother my system and my gut. So I've had to back off of some of that. So thankfully Shakeology comes in a vegan formula, so I'm able to do that and still eat paleo. So that works real well. For the most part, it follows that plan, so does really well with that. Okay, so whole foods. What do I mean by whole foods? Whole foods are, instead of processed foods, are basically foods that have one ingredient. They come from the ground or from nature. Now, I'm not big on grains for several reasons, and I won't get into all of those today. But I'm not really big necessarily on rice, even brown rice. I like quinoa, but quinoa is actually classified as a seed. So even in paleo, I can eat that. So I do like quinoa. But really, when I'm thinking more whole foods, what I want more of my clients and customers to really focus on is to look at things like a sweet potato, if you're going to have something, or you can look at an apple, or you can look at a tomato, or broccoli, Brussels sprouts, you know, and not even just that, chicken, turkey, you know, meats. You've got walnuts, almonds, you know, they have one ingredient. They are a food group, they're not processed, and that's what I would say, to stick to more whole foods as opposed to your processed packaged foods. I will tell you, I definitely focus a lot on more vegetables. A lot of people will say more fruits and vegetables, and it's become kind of synonymous that you put fruits with vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are not in the same class. I would not recommend you have as many servings of fruits as you do vegetables. You need way more vegetables. They are more nutritionally dense. And fruit, though it has benefits, you want in smaller doses, because fruit is basically fructose. And too much fructose in the body is not healthy. As a matter of fact, it increases triglycerides and causes a lot more problems than you might think. So you want to stay away from too much fruit. A little bit every day is fine, but that should not be your mainstay. Vegetables should be. Healthy fats and oils. So things like avocados, like again, the nuts that I talked about, nut butters. Olive oil and coconut oil would be my oils of choice, as opposed to things, you know, like I told you yesterday. And then of course, you know, real organic grass-fed butter, or butter that comes from cows that are eating grass, that are pastured. That's usually a really, really great source also. So for example, if you're eating vegetables, it is totally fine to have a little bit of butter with that, because much of the vitamins that come in your vegetables, like A and E, those are fat soluble. And so if you're eating a meal that's extremely low in fat, you're actually not going to be able to absorb the vitamins that you're getting from your vegetables, the same as if you had some healthy fat in that meal. So again, not a believer at all in the low fat. Even in some of the workout programs, I'm a little bit leery of how low fat they are, because we're seeing more and more that that is not the healthiest way to go. So, so those are some things to replace what I told you about yesterday, things I want you to avoid. So instead, adding things like natural sweeteners, drinking water, eating whole foods, so vegetables, meats, poultry, again, as long, hopefully you're eating grass-fed, pastured, you know, fish as well. Healthy fats and oils, of course, to replace the trans fats and the industrial seed oils or margarine. Okay, so if you have any questions with anything that I've posted in either yesterday's video or today's video, make sure you post. I'm happy to give you more information. These videos have run a little bit longer than my others, so I don't want to keep going with this. But if you do have questions, by all means, I will make sure I get you the information you're looking for so that you can make your best choices for yourself and in your journey. So have an awesome day, you guys. I'll talk to you soon.